wanted to touch on this, these scenes out of Israel overnight, violence on the streets, tit-for-tat rocket attacks, buildings collapsing. It's got a really bad feel about it. It's between Israel and Hamas, the militant Palestinian group. You just about need a PhD in political science to work out the history of this. But on Monday there was a clash between Israeli police and Palestinians at a mosque in Jerusalem. That spawned violence in various parts of Israel, and the rockets. Hamas fired at least 800 rockets at Israeli targets since Monday, and a lot have been caught in the Iron Dome, that anti-missile shield. Israel's responded with its own strikes. So far, 32 Palestinians have been killed, 3 Israelis. The UN is concerned. One of the Middle East peace envoys has said, "Stop the fire immediately. We are escalating towards a full-scale war." It seems all around the world at the moment the talk is of war, China, Russia, and the Middle East. They've got the most recent history of it. I want you to hear from this man I'm about to speak to in Israel. His name's Jacob Wax. He was literally caught up in a rocket attack while at a farm. This is how he described it. And this video will be on our website, 3aw.com.au, but this is how he described it.
Guys, literally, we're running away from rockets over here. Unbelievable. Oh, shit! 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 How do I get out of here? Help! Oh my God.
And that's real fair income stuff. That's not sound effects. Jacob Wax. It was in a town called Ashkelon in Israel where they've already had 2 fatalities because of the rocket attacks. Jacob, that's terrifying stuff. What was your emotion? What did it feel like?
That's hard. Good morning to your viewers. Regards from Israel here. To be honest, it was so surreal, and like in the beginning, I couldn't believe what was happening, and then it just gets louder and louder and banging. I'm a 40-year-old adult, and I was shitting in my pants. Can I say that on the radio? And because there's nothing really you can do. You're reliant on other people. Like, if you're in a bar fight, you can fight, or you can run away, or you can do something. You can't do anything here. Like, the rockets can land on you, and they were literally landing all around us. And some of them were knocked down, and some of them landed in the fields. I was actually there for to film for my brother a rocket that landed in the field that hadn't exploded, and it was actually my uncle's farm in Israel. And as I was filming that's how I got the video. As I was filming the rocket, I just all of a sudden the sirens went off. And because of the location, because of the proximity that location is to the border, you have about 30 seconds, okay, until the rocket lands from the moment you hear the siren. Like, for example, in Tel Aviv tonight, I don't know if you saw, but there was a huge barrage of rockets against central Israel. They have about 2 minutes to get into the bomb shelter. Now I'm standing there in the middle of the field, and nothing covering my head, no concrete around, and I had to literally run out of like a greenhouse sort of structure. Yeah, go ahead.
Have you ever been through anything like that before? I mean, we hear so often about rocket attacks in that part of the world. You've been there a long time. Have you ever been close to an attack?
I got to correct you. Sorry, Neil. I got to correct you. I've been here for about 6 weeks.
Oh, is that all? Okay.
So I have not seen a rocket attack in my life. I even asked my uncle, like, is this an everyday occurrence? And it's definitely not in this magnitude an everyday occurrence, and it's never been in this magnitude. He told me, like, during the last tit for tat event, there were rockets, but nothing like this. I think the capabilities of the Hamas have definitely improved. And it was just so frightening. I can't imagine. Like, I'm a father to a 14-year-old son, and I haven't shown him the video because he lives actually in Miami with his mother. And I haven't shown him the video because I'm just like, he would be scared just watching me being in that situation. And I can't imagine the kids in Israel that the whole night last night spent in the bomb shelters. It's just frightening.
What is the mood in Israel, do you think, at the moment? Well, the Iron Dome seems to be working on the major cities but to protect them from the rockets, and there has been a response. What is the mood?
I think the mood is like, this isn't fair. It isn't fair. I think the mood on the street, and I'm not going to get into politics because I'm not that well-versed in politics, but I think the mood of the street is, it's not fair. The world is going to condemn us regardless of what we do. So you might as well finish the situation and not let it happen again. Like, let's face it, the government, any government, the Australian government has a duty to protect its citizens. And so every time they try to protect the citizens of Israel, they get condemned whatever they do. So the citizens are just fed up, and they like, whether the world is with us or not, let's just finish this. And we all know they have the capabilities to finish it. But because they're a nation of laws and they follow the laws and they don't indiscriminately target civilian populations like they do, like the Hamas is doing, is they're targeting houses. They're not targeting military structures. They're targeting houses, buildings, cars, civilians. I don't think the Israeli army, and nobody can rightfully say, you know, with a good conscience, that the Israeli army is trying to target women and children or even civilians in any population. I think they even let them know before they even attack that they're attacking, so that the civilians can leave that area.
What's today though? It's almost 5 o'clock in the morning. There are people expecting more problems. Is it going to be long running, or they think it could ease now?
I think it's actually, to me, it seems like it's going to be a big flare up, because there's no incentives on the Hamas side to not go ahead with it. I think you mentioned that this. You mentioned, like, heard you in the beginning, that this event started because of action at a mosque in Jerusalem. I don't want to correct you, but I don't think that's correct at all. This has been going on all over Israel for the past 2 weeks, like more demonstrations and stuff like that. And the reason it's going on is because Hamas wants to have elections, and the PA doesn't want to have elections. To me, the PA is pretty corrupt. Hamas will get elected in the Palestinian territories if they do have elections, and so Hamas has nothing to lose. The economy hasn't been doing well because of the lockdowns, because of Corona, and so when there's a economical issue, there's no better way to distract the population than attack the bad enemy, Israel. And so that's, to me, the way thing. And the mosque is just extremist.
Okay, well, look, you hold on for a moment. We'll have and all the best there. Take care. I'll put you back to Michael Hill to have a talk to him, and we can keep in touch. I tend to agree with you that it's not likely to be a short-term one.